Good evening, Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. Very nasty electric storms erupted all over central and southern Queensland this afternoon and may make a return appearance tomorrow. Very likely severe once again. But the overriding theme for this week across the whole state is intense heat and humidity. Today's top temperatures were the highest we've seen since April for many stations. Gympie and Maryborough shot to 31 degrees and gained to 32. Sea breezes capped Hervey Bay at 27. Now, firstly, on the satellite loop, we saw this morning how the thicker the rain started moving into New South Wales, and you can see that spiralling low pressure pattern now off the northern rivers coast, and that's where the heavy rain's occurring, where they least deserve it, of course. Meanwhile, we had some clear air this morning across Queensland, enough to heat the ground and get those big, massive hailstorms, giant hail falling right across central Queensland this afternoon and affecting the Wide Bay as well, and even parts of the Northern Downs. Now, on today's chart, the trough that produced those really nasty storms this afternoon is that one right here. It's still a long way back, and you can see there's a surface feature also crossing the New South Wales coast into that low. Tomorrow's chart, the trough will be there once again. Another round of severe storms, extreme heat wave conditions in the tropics because of the persistent northerly winds. Now, the latest from the Weather Bureau. Boating forecast for Hervey Bay waters, north-northwesterlies up to 20 knots tomorrow, dropping back to 10 to 15 knots on Wednesday, same direction, and continuing northwesterly through Thursday. Gowrie offshore, north-northwesterlies 15 to 20 knots this time on a 2-metre easterly swell. Much the same again on Wednesday, and on Thursday, still north-northwesterlies 15 to 20. The new moon's due tomorrow, and the morning high tide's the biggest peak in the 24-hour period. It's no king tide, but it's large enough to warrant the usual precautions. The Wide Bay Burnett, potentially severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Bundaberg reaching 27 degrees, gained to 29, Hervey Bay 26, Maryborough 27 again. Looking ahead for Bundaberg, a whole week of midsummer heat lies ahead, complete with restless, sultry nights and days perpetually in the 30s. Storms clearing Wednesday and mostly dry after that. This week's question, why do we never seem to get tornadoes in Australia like they do in the United States? America is the king of tornadoes, ideally placed in the collision zone between two starkly contrasting wind systems from the dry Arctic and the Gulf of Mexico. The perfect setup for violent weather. Every American knows someone who's seen a tornado. In Australia, we don't have this perfect setup, but we do get tornadoes. It's just that most of them happen a long way inland where there's nobody around to see them. If we had big inland cities like they do in the US, I'm sure we'd see a lot more of those nasty storms. Now it's back to the team.
You're wonderful, Liv. Good on you, mate. Thanks very much for your company, folks. Anything you'd like to watch again, our 7 Plus app, or if you like, or our page, 7news.com.au. Look forward to catching you tomorrow night. Take care. Good night.